Yo, what's good, Bleach community? Your boy Storm is back with a video today, and yes, that's right, we got a new patch today. Now, patch didn't hit yet, but we did get patch notes pretty early, patch 1.4, and I'm not too sure about the changes here. Now, going over the system changes, because I will cover the balance changes in another video, but the system changes, the first thing we have here is breakers. So they officially touched breakers in this game, which is something that honestly needed to happen for such a long time. Breakers was really just a mechanic that was just like kind of weird. It's a grab, but you can also like hold it and it becomes a dash grab, but it was very buggy. It would cause a lot of inconsistencies. So I'm glad that they're touching on it, but the changes they made. So starting off, the first one is reduce the hitbox for breaker attack. So it seems like just in general, when you throw out a breaker, it won't go as far as what it usually would. Now, there have been times in the past you're playing this game, you hold breaker slightly and you get like this extra range on it. I think those type of situations are completely gone. I feel like breaker is actually going to be dead after these changes. It's going to be something that's really going to be used. People are going to be so used to using it that they're going to find themselves in situations where, oh, well, my breaker used to hit there. Oh, damn, well, I'm not going to want to use breaker anymore, which is a good thing. Breaker was overused, though I fear that these changes kind of hurt it a bit too much. I think overall these changes will be good for the breaker because it makes breakers more honest, more spacing dependent. You actually have to really think about what you're doing with breakers instead of just mindlessly either holding the button or just throwing it out there because it had such, so much priority over other moves. Now, there's a small tooltip here mentioning that Rangiku's hitbox have been expanded. I did notice, because I play her a lot myself, that her grab was sometimes just miss. I always just thought maybe it was just that her breaker didn't have as much range as other characters did, but it seems like out of all the characters, they may have buffed hers up to where everybody else is at now. I think this is a buff to her, but it puts her next to everybody else in the cast, basically equalizing breakers across the board. Now, this next change is a little bit weird to me. It says you can now cancel into Hoho follow-up even when your attack is guarded. Now, Hoho follow-up, if you guys do not know, is when you do a Hoho extension off of any hit in this game. Now, this is what a usual Hoho extension would look like. The way that I'm reading it in the patch notes, it's basically saying after you hit someone's guard, you'll be able to flash step after. Now, if you try to do that now, you just get the raw flash step, but even then, this isn't what they're referring to. It seems to be that after you hit a hit, you instantly be able to flash step and go into your Hoho extension. But that's weird because I don't see how that would be beneficial. I could see maybe in a situation where let's say you end a combo off, right? Let's say you're hitting somebody on block and you do a string that's not safe, right? Like right here, I would be able to usually be punished. Maybe using your Hoho to save yourself in that sense would be what they're talking about. Now, this is where it gets pretty tricky because if the opponent decides to block that, is the attack plus? You know what I mean? Or is it like, we'll see later on today when the patch actually hits. But this is where I'm a little confused on, because is that attack actually going to be plus on block, or can the Ichigo himself choose to flash step it himself? Like, these are the questions that I have when it comes to that. But that is kind of an interesting change that they're choosing to go with. Okay, so these next two changes I'm actually pretty excited about. So the first one is landing a keycon move outside of Soul Break will now restore reverse gauge. The second one is, if you are in Reishi deficiency state when taking damage, your damage output and guard chip damage will increase. They're basically making changes to how people like to stall the game. Let's say the whole sublimation system is somewhat flawed, and they're trying their best to kind of make changes to that. But this is really what they're trying to say. So as you can see, Mayuri, she has little reverse gauge here. If I were to take this keycon move, right, she's going to get a certain amount of reverse back because I'm choosing to take it without actually soul breaking my opponent. Now, we don't know the specific numbers on it. The patch hasn't dropped yet, but this is basically encouraging people to want to go for keycon moves while the opponent is in the red. Because honestly, soul breaking and taking 4 and then taking 5, or taking 5 and 4 was really the best way you wanted to go about it. Now they're really prioritizing, hey, you should want to take your opponent's health when it's in the red. You know why? Because you're gonna get reverse for it. You're gonna get a reward for it. And they really don't want people to be sitting here just like playing extremely passive. I know there's clips out there. I know you guys have had games where, you know what, if I just stayed back and I waited for that white reverse, I know I can get the sub and I'll take this 5-piece or whatever it is, right? So I think that's a W change. The second change mentioned being in Reishi deficiency state. That's essentially you being in red health. It's saying that while your health is low, you will do more guard damage to your opponent, essentially forcing you, not forcing, but giving you an incentive to want to be aggressive while the health is low. This is gonna help opponents, or really just characters, I mean, who do a lot of damage, your Neutras, your Yamamotos, characters who don't really want to wait around to get sublimation or wait around to have to take, you know, a certain amount of Kompaku. No, they're gonna actually be able to bum rush you and do whatever they want, because now while their health is low too, they'll not only be able to do more damage while they are in this red state, but they will be crushing that guard. So you have to be careful now when you're going against those kind of characters. One system change I'm not too really sure about is that attacks during awakening or reawakening can no longer be countered with counter. Now, I'm not sure what they're trying to say with that. I think essentially the point is I think, let's say we have the Ichigo going to attack me. I think they might be referring to Hakugeki. Now, Hakugeki is a move that has kind of been a bit more popular as the game has kind of grown on. People have started using Hakugeki as more of a way to really do big call outs on if the opponent is gonna, you know, jump in and let's say rush them down or throw out a certain move. It's really good for like big reads, right? You understand what I'm saying? I think they're trying to say that while Ichigo is in awakening, I will not be able to throw out Hakugeki and be able to just completely have super armor against his moves. This could just be speculation on my part. Again, the patch notes aren't really too specific on what they mean by counter. I don't think they mean perfect flash set because they use a different type of terminology for that in the patch notes. So we'll have to see when the patch officially drops, but that is just my 2 cents on it so far. I'm gonna be honest, y'all, this is just Storm straight up speaking directly to the community. I'm a bit frustrated. It's cool that we're getting balanced patches. It's cool that Samsoft is deciding to touch the game in different ways that honestly we didn't really think of doing. But where are the features? I mean, if you look at Rank, right? You look at the game modes we have. This game is very bare bones. I understand it's a fighting game. I understand it's an anime fighter. But like, where are the base modes? There's no spectate. There's no room matches. That would have been a huge announcement to put in your patch notes. I have like the smallest amount of cope right now that maybe this patch later on is going to introduce that somewhat, but we still don't have base level features, things that are in the files for the game, but we still do not have. And it's frustrating because it's like, the game is beautiful. Let me be real with you. I'm gonna level with you. The game is beautiful. The music, right? The combat, like it's very good. But where are the freaking features, man? Like I made a whole video about this, right? Bleach needs help. And I touched on this stuff, but it's just like, I don't think my voice is loud enough. It's unfortunate. It's just like, why are we here? You know, what are we doing? Yeah, balances are cool. Yes, we get buffs for characters and nerfs for characters. Woohoo. We get new DLC characters. Woohoo. But that doesn't matter if we do not get fresh content within a game to make it feel fun. We should have some kind of King of the Hill mode, right? We should have spectator, like I mentioned. We should have lobbies, endless lobbies. We should have so many different things that other anime fighters have. It's 2025. It's December of 2025, about to be in 2026. There's no reason why this game doesn't even have crossplay. You understand what I'm saying? It's just frustrating. And I don't want to come off in a very negative way. I love Bleach. You know, you guys as a community knows that I love this game, but bro, like what the hell is going on? Like, this shit honestly getting me tight. Like, real talk, my New York coming out, but this shit getting me tight. I don't understand why they doing this. You feel me? But it is what it is. Overall, I think the system changes are a plus. I think what they're trying to do is really push the game in a more damage oriented, more rush down heavy direction. They don't want people to be so defensive anymore. And I understand that because the game has revolved around defensive play for a long time. Unfortunately, I think nerfing Breaker is only going to make it a little bit more defensive, even with the changes. We'll see as time goes on. I don't know how long that Rebirth of Souls is going to last when it comes to content. I'm here until it ends. I'm excited for Yuha Baha tomorrow. I hope you guys are too. And watch out for my balance patch video coming out soon. So catch you guys later. Your boy Storm is out. Peace.